Jean, let's talk about this one. It's been 14 years running, but this one is in an election year. Now, does that in any way affect, the nature of the discussions at this annual retreat?
Hi, Yvonne. Now, this particular year, and what is now in focus is delivery of some of the particular promises that the government. And so what the leaders, both from private sector and government, are doing at this particular retreat that is taking 5 days this time is to take stock of what has been achieved so far, the challenges that still remain, and what needs to be done in terms of the sectors that are still lagging behind. Yvonne.
All right, so let's talk about, the nature of these retreats. We're made to understand that President Paul Kagame, nature of these retreats and whether they have any, tangible outcome in Kigali. I mean, it's a different case in Kenya sometimes and in other parts of the continent. But just explain to us the nature of these annual retreats.
Yvonne, these retreats bring with them as sense over underperforming and looking at the last retreat that took place last year, when the master of ceremony was actually talking before President Kagame was invited to speak, he was actually saying that there's been a lot of progress that the leaders have done, which President Paul Kagame openly said are the same for those who are actually performing well. Along the months that precede after these retreats. And so after these particular retreats, there's usually a roadmap that is usually put in place that is followed to the latter, because the leaders know that come next year, during the next retreat, there will be stock taking and thoroughly performing as per what they're expected to do in their particular responsibilities in delivering for the citizens of this country.
Indeed, and I can attest to that. I was in Kigali, Rwanda last year around the time of that one, and I was speaking to a minister who had to make sure he attended and had his presentation made. So I can definitely relate to that. My final question to you, Eugene, is this, and we talked about it a little bit earlier. This is happening in an election year, but what is the situation like in Kigali that is just months away to an election?
Particularly in Kenya, when you look at